Welcome to the Bobby Kudo Show, where we dive into the fascinating world of human experiences and excellence. With special guests, real-life anecdotes, and thought-provoking discussions. Get ready to unlock and tap into your absolute potential with your host, manifestation coach, Bobby Kudo.
I appreciate it. Welcome to the Bobby Kudo Show. David, thank you for being here. Appreciate it, bro, supporting the show. Jody, thank you for being here, supporting the show. As always, it's an absolute pleasure to have such talent in the studio. And the funny thing is we were just talking 2 minutes ago, and you mentioned, "Wow, great place." It's but without you, none of this is. There's no purpose. There's
I
no
am the sole focus.
Seriously, right? Without right. Listen, I've heard some things about you. I've heard some things, I want to get it. Yeah, go ahead.
Fire away. But just real quick, before, as we start, I was just remarking before we went live. The studio, I've been on a few different podcasts, like locally, even as big as like Mike Silvia does it. He's got probably 100,000 followers, like his Florida guide and all that stuff. Into like Jeff Larry had one. I do a small one. Yeah. This setup is bad, dude. Like when people come in here, if you ask people, I'm sure if you ask anyone else who's come on, they'll agree. Like it's wicked cool. Like, and I could see it's a place you'd almost want to hang out in. So it makes the environment great to have a conversation.
Well, that's just it. If we're gonna tap into the journey, brother,
like just start off the show kissing your ass. You know what I mean?
If I picked you up in a Corolla, you'd be like, "We're gonna get there, but we're not gonna get there comfortable." You know what I mean?
Nah, it's a cool setup.
You know what I mean? Thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. Yeah, Jordan, I really appreciate you being here, brother, and tapping into the journey. I don't know how much you know about the show, but ultimately, fundamentally, it's about the struggle to success. It's about the absolute. It's about the amount of stress and struggle in your life always drives and powers the determination for success. And that's having you here and the people that have been here before you. That has been the message. I know like we're on the forefront of political things happening, but honestly and frankly, bro, I really want to know Jordan. Like I wanted you to be here, and I just wanted to talk to you. I know that you've been involved in some politics, and we both share something, bro. We don't know each other yet,
yeah.
But we both have a passion for the city. I love this city, bro, and the reason why I created this was for this reason, to tap into people like you that give a shit, that are determined, that not only will thumb war, but actually get out in the ring and be like, well, let's do this. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, I love having conversations like this. So just real quick too, like I was banned on the radio, right? Local AM radio. What kind of loser, bro?
WSA.
Yeah, for years, right? So and I would just call and get hung up on after 10 seconds. So
who were you calling? Who was?
Oh, well, again, one of them was Jeff Leary at the time. But the reason I say that is when you say about caring about the city, for some reason, dude, and I don't know what's the genesis of that or the motivation, but I do value basically this, like the conversation, right? I wish we could go 3 hours. I've done 3 hours on Jess Machado's show when she was on WBSM in New Bedford, their local radio, and it was cool because like people call in, you know what I mean?
Right. So you get that live, right.
Dude, I have people from New Bedford and I was running for city council at the time.
Okay.
They're like, I'll give this kid a free apartment to move to New Bedford and run for office.
That's hilarious, dude.
Because there's another thing I want to say, Bobby, because I will say what I honestly think. I'm not completely unfiltered because anybody who says that's lying, right? Like when we're in private, we'll say things a little
absolutely
looser.
Right. Bathroom talk too. Exactly.
But relatively speaking, all right, put it this way: for someone running for office, which I'm not right now, but in the past, no one will ever be as blunt as me in forever running for office, right? And that's why I could never win.
Right.
But going back to what you said about the success part of it, and I know that's one thing I wanted to ask you because I see in your on your socials you say like you're into personal development.
Absolutely, 100%.
What's funny about that is when I ask you that question, you're into personal development, you're like sold out on it. If I ask other people that, they'll either be like either not into it or don't even know what the hell that means. That should be everyone's default position.
Agreed.
And now again, I only learned this in my mid 30s, right? I turned 45 next week.
Yep.
So about 10 years ago, bro, as I start with personal development. So how sick is it to say that the average human being
comfortable
doesn't even
know. Comfortable.
No, but I don't even blame people because, again, I was ignorant to it for a long time, too.
Yep.
So if you don't even know. Now, again, I brought 2 gifts here to come on the show. Right?
Excellent. I like both up gifts.
First one, I can't know if I could show, but I got a pizza that I brought because I do a podcast out of my restaurant, right, out of the pizza place. Yeah. It's hard with the
Yeah. What's the podcast?
Slice of
And this
Success.
is Fiorentines, right?
Yeah, Fiorentina is Italian kitchen.
Fiorentines, yeah.
It's called Slice of Success podcast, where I have same thing. Wow, that looks phenomenal, actually. That's a belladonna pizza with vodka sauce, meatballs, and ricotta cheese. We can all I don't want to get your cameras dirty, but that shit is bomb.
Look at that.
Right?
Oh, it smells amazing.
So, and the reason I mention it, right? So that's one of the gifts. The other gifts I brought for both you guys. I didn't know Jody was going to be here, right? Ever read this one? Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This guy, the guy who owns the painting company, obviously did, right?
Yes, I have it on I have a hard copy of it.
Awesome.
But I will
It's for you guys either
thank
way.
You.
And you know what?
Thank you.
Best part about books, dude, you can give them to other people.
That's exactly it. I haven't read it yet. My daughter got this for me, actually. So
Come on.
for my birthday.
How old's your daughter?
My daughter's 29.
Awesome, dude.
Yes.
Wow, you're dating yourself. You look young.
What would you think?
29-year-old kid. What you have when you were 10 years
What'd you
old?
think? Something
I'm
like
just
that.
blowing the hose
Something like
some
that.
more.
I love it. Perfect.
But
I like this guy. Where'd you find this guy? We're gonna find more of him.
All I want to say though, Bobby, right? So I bring the pizza that we can share, right? Because again, I also think from my podcast, it brings you more into like a conversational thing too, right? If you eat.
Absolutely.
But for that, right? That book right there, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. That book pretty much changed my life. I think it was 2018, and like I said before we started too, I work at a bank, so I have a W-2 job, right? And I have a W-2 job. And then I got into real estate investing. Not really from that, but it was from that book and watching this podcast, Bigger Pockets.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but it's a real estate investment thing.
Yeah.
And I realized that book right there was kind of the cornerstone. And I got exposed to it through a sales class at the bank that I work for, which sounds weird, but it's a guy.
But they typically will offer
this guy
an
had
author
4 car dealerships and then a finance company, and I'm the day manager for the finance company, right? So my boss says, hey, they're doing this thing for salespeople, like sales training. And then so I go to it. It was actually put on by Grant Cardone's training company at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I get exposed to it, and I'm there with a legal pad. You know, some salespeople are in there just like smoking and joking. Dude, I'm in there with a legal pad, like trying to improve my life.
Right. Take it seriously, yeah.
So, and again, now 300 books later, bro, I'm a different fucking human being, right? And I'm not saying when you talk about success, I'm at the first rung.
But what happened at that moment? What triggered in your brain? Was it seeing everyone being like, wow, these people aren't smarter than me? I could do this.
The thing that triggered my brain was my entire life I was lied to about money, right? And so here's another thing I want to say when you start to talk about politics.
Yep.
So I learned this stuff, right? And to me, a good buddy of mine in the city does real estate, Drew Carline. He gives that book out to everybody too.
Yeah.
But if I learn that and I say, wow, I was deprived of this as a child. I went to school for 13 years, K through 12, all in Fall River. Then I went to college for what felt like 20 years.
And no one once ever said, hey, this is how you fill out a check. This is how you do a checkbook, bounce checkbook.
100%, and I want to talk about that because and the reason I'm saying this is if there's a new mayor in January in Fall River, the person that I'm promoting is saying we're going to get that book in the hand of every kid in Fall River in the Fall River Public Schools. Right? So like middle school up.
Yep.
$7 a copy, bro. Like it's not an expensive thing.
But give them the tools. Give them the mindset.
That will be the biggest change that's ever happened in the city of Fall River, right? If you take a bunch of poor kids with presumably poor parents, right, and show them what this guy's rich, whatever, it's a parable, fake story. I don't even, people say that.
Yeah, placebo, it doesn't matter.
Another great book is like Napoleon Hill, right? Think and Grow Rich. People like Napoleon Hill's a con man. Nobody knows who wrote the Bible, but there's good stuff from that. You know, like people try to, like, I don't care what the backstory is behind the person. It's just like phenomenal knowledge.
Can you take a step back real quick?
Sure.
You made a statement. You said it saved your life.
100%.
And you said how? In what sense?
So again, I don't know how far back we go, but at some point I had the mentality. I only thought, bro, that you got a job, you worked for a paycheck on Friday, right? Like that was the baseline.
So we're taught.
You're taught that, right? They talk about like the school to
Learn
prison
behavior,
pipeline.
Brother. Yep.
Just as bad as like this school to college pipeline, dude, which puts you on this path to being like a tax slave, W-2 thing. And, I don't want to begrudge that fully, but when I had it, so again, back to my podcast, first episode I said, I'm going to do this thing about success, financial success.
Yeah.
So who do I want to get first? The most successful guy in Fall River, Tony Cadero. He's worth $90 million. I didn't know he was worth that amount, right? So he says on the show, He gets offers for $50 million for Commonwealth Landing, where Jerry Remy's restaurant
Yeah,
is. He says every week,
Barrett's,
50,
all that,
yeah, right, $50 million. And that's just, dude, this guy's got huge buildings. He's doing more stuff. I think he just said he's willing to invest like $200 million into like the Route 79 development.
Yeah.
But I want to start with a guy who's up there.
Sure, right. Work your way down.
And, just again, that whole conversation is like saying he's another guy. He came from Orange Street in Fall River, didn't know this stuff. He said he picked it up from older guys who were doing more entrepreneurial stuff.
Sure.
So I just want to expose kids in Fall River. That I want that to be my legacy, bro.
And can you just I just want to add a little bit to that.
Sure.
And I think a lot of it is, we talk about this on Under the Bridge, and that is a lot of this is product of our environment, right? So we're Azorian, I'm 100% Azorian Portuguese, right? So my mom, my dad, they were brought up in a system that taught them that if they didn't grow food, they would starve and die.
Yes.
So they become 20 and they come to the United States, and they have this perception in their brains that if they do not plant the tomatoes, they will starve and die.
Yep.
And they raise children
Yep.
with the same mindset.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
it's this panic. You have this panic idea, and you live your whole life in this panic, and oh my God, my boss is going to be mad at me. You know, the first time somebody said it to me, I said, whoa, stop. Mad at you?
Yeah, like you're a child.
Like, what does that mean? Explain that to me. Explain it, because I couldn't get past that.
Yeah.
And I think that's like you and I are like, where we're looking at that and saying, that doesn't look right. Like,
Yeah.
you're telling me that's the way it goes, but that doesn't look right.
Yeah, so I have a lady who works with me at the bank, right? Her name, shout out, Sedalia. She's a sweetheart. She's from Portugal, and she says when I was 7 years old, we had dirt floors in our house. So now again, go back a little bit.
Yep.
03. So whatever. Born in the projects. Maybe God. So success. I wrote a paper in Durfee my senior year, right?
Yeah.
So I had this weird path where I was super poor, hung out with kids selling drugs and stuff in the projects, right? Those are the people I grew up with.
What year did you graduate?
99.
Okay.
Right. But then like somewhere around like middle school, early high school in Durfee, I started hanging out with guys who, some of them, like a friend of mine, Brian Reed, valedictorian my year, graduate, went to Harvard, then Yale, full ride, right? Almost a perfect score on his SAT. So I kind of started like trying to look at my senior year. I was in kind of both of those things. I was in honors English class, say, right?
Yeah.
So talk about a funny instance too. So I'm in honors English. First day of the class in my senior year, she goes, "Oh, what schools? Everybody go. What college you already admitted to?" First day of for senior year, it was half of them were Ivy League schools, bro.
Yeah.
Harvard, Brown, Yale, all these people. It got to me. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to college, right? And the lady looked at me and straight up said, "I think you're in the wrong class." Right, and I took, but I'm sure she meant well. And guess what? She was an employee, bro. And again, not to begrudge like systems and whatnot, but she was coming from her one of the scariest things, dude. I'm afraid to offer advice many times now, because people can only come at you from their perspective, right? And one of the craziest things is when people actually care about you and give you terrible advice. So
Right.
When I was going to buy my first 3-family house, right? I was making garbage money, less than $50K a year. Me and my wife were still struggling, 2 young kids. I've never made a ton of money in W-2 money, which is crazy, right? Yeah. But
so there's the fuel right there. There's that fuel for that success.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
But we, instead of buying a single family house, we bought a 3-family house, hacked it, live on the first floor, right? That house went from $200,000 to right now about 7, right? In 7 years.
Yep.
I'm all over the place. Don't mind me. I lose my train of thought.
That's okay.
Trying to retell all these things. But basically, like I said, it's relative. I come from obviously a poor background, right?
Yeah.
And it was the Rich Dad Poor Dad, Bigger Pockets podcast. I just was exposing myself to a different way of doing it.
But you decided no college. You decided like, I'm not going to go to college?
No. I went to BCC.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
Went to BCC, went to UMass Dartmouth. Thought that was the path.
But what was your pursuit? In pursuit of what?
I was in law enforcement at the time.
Okay.
Right? Fall River Police.
Criminal justice, right?
Yeah, whole other crazy story of that, people. So, again, back in 2008, I was a cop in Fall River, right? Got laid off, these 9C cuts. I don't know how much people know, like, the backstory of all this, because it's happening right now. That big fire that just happened, where now they're saying we don't have enough firefighters. that cut of 30, 40 firefighters happened in 08, 09, where Deval Patrick was the governor. You know what I mean? And I was one of the police officers that got fired out of Fall River for that. I ended up getting picked up in Brockton. While in Brockton, I got fired, right? So off duty, was in a situation where I'm surrounded by a couple of people, and I pulled out my firearm. Yeah. Right? And whatever, charged with criminal things. So back to what you were saying, the dichotomy of adversity, bro. At the time, you're thinking, man, this is terrible. But I already knew the next day, I'm like, I'm probably going to lose my job as a police officer. I'll just go to law school and be like the best lawyer ever.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I always kind of had this thought that no matter what I went through, I was going to come out better. You know what I mean? And that's key.
Well, I think step one is identifying it, right? Like not being like, no, it's going to be fine. I'm going to go to work tomorrow and they're going to say everything's good and I'm going to be good. Like, right? That's self-denial. But you're like, no, fuck, I know what's 100%. Happening here. I'm going to lose my job. What am I going to do? Like, I need to pivot. I got to pivot.
100%.
Dude, that's a difference, bro.
100%.
That's the difference.
Once I realized that adversity, it's crazy enough to say, but like that's the best thing that you can have. It's such a dichotomy, bro, because it's the best thing that can happen to you. It's the only way. How do you expect to grow if you coast by and everything just happens for you, bro?
That's
you know what I mean. So you have to go through bad things, and I've had it happen. So again, I'm working for this guy at this bank. Now I end up buying this pizza place just as like a side thing because I wanted to grow.
What year is this?
This was 2 years ago.
All right. Okay.
Right. So
you like not COVID, like this is post-COVID?
Just after.
Just after COVID. Okay. Yeah.
Follow this guy on Facebook. Shout out to Kyle Malian, right? This dude's on Facebook. He teaches people how to buy businesses. There's a lot of that going on. Cody Sanchez is big right now. Right? It's like the big thing right now. I mean, it's been happening forever. It's been happening for as long as business existed. Sure. You know, they either close when the guy dies or they gets, inherited to the kid or someone takes it over.
The bank takes, somebody's got it.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I want to do going forward. So anybody who's watching this, I want to buy more real estate and I want to buy more businesses. But specifically, knowing that the guy who pays my paycheck, signs my paycheck every week, Manny Sarmento, right? He's got like 100 employees, bro. That to me is like awesome, right? So people look at that as stress, and people will say, "Oh, well, be careful what you wish for," and blah blah. Now you can do the solopreneur thing, like, again, because of technology now, bro. You can make $1 million by yourself with whatever bullshit on social media or drop shipping.
Huck all this. Too, bro, $1 million.
Yeah, scam type shit, whatever, and not
Meme
even scam.
Coin.
Legit businesses, like you satisfy somebody's need, and you know what I mean. They're gonna pay you.
Problem
period.
solution.
You don't need
Problem
an army
solution.
of employees.
Yep.
But I want the employees because, again, so I didn't know Jody's niece works at my pizza place, right? And she's a sweetheart. But I like ripping paychecks to people, right? Because now let's take Chris. Chris is trying to solve all these things in Fall River with charity, right? And this came up when I had him on my podcast. Yep. And I said why I even got disillusioned from doing it, because I was doing it way back in 2014, right? The need never ends, right? So you have the same people like coming into the soup kitchen every week, and it's so it kind of wears on you, right? And like I told Chris, because he was not a political guy, right? And I said, Chris, at some point, dude, you're gonna get sick of doing the Band-Aid to help homeless people, and you're gonna look around and say, why do we keep having to do this?
You're sticking your hole in the dam, right?
Yeah,
and then you're sticking your hole in the dam,
100%.
and like a toe, and then at some point, bro, you got no more fingers and toes left.
Yeah.
You got to do something, bro.
Yeah.
But my concern is always the same, bro. It's like, you see these charismatic individuals, they always seem great, and then, I think charity, please, and I don't mean this in any way, dude, like in derogatory.
My feelings can't be offended.
Right. Charity, I think, is an amazing thing, dude. And I'm all about charity, but charity is a double-edged sword. Because when you associate yourself with nothing but charity, you become the charity guy. That's all you are. It's charity, charity, charity.
He's certainly identified as that. This is my take on him, right? People, will criticize the hell out of this dude. I just say, like, some guy just said it, right? Some guy just before I came here said, hey, this guy, 3 a.m, he's complaining about making bagels. 10 a.m, he can't handle helping homeless people. So all I fired back at the guy was like, do you do more than he does? And I'm like, I am not even accusing you of not doing more.
Right. But even are you even?
But I'm asking the question. Like, so with my thing with him specifically, because I watch everyone in Fall River too. Right, to try to see what people's motivations are, right, and who's trying to ruin my life and who's trying to just be neutral. I don't need people to help me, bro. I don't need anybody to fucking help me. Right, and if someone accused me of that, I'm up Chris's ass because I want like a favor. I've never made one penny in 10 years of running for office and criticizing all these people and doing all that. Not one penny. And like I said on the radio the other day, it costs me money, bro.
Yeah. So you ran, right? You ran though, right?
I ran for mayor a couple of times and for city council.
And so let me ask you, so did you win? Did you get in?
Oh, not even close.
Do you think that's a result of the history of comments in the past? Do you think that's...
Comments concurrent with me
Because I'll be honest with you, bro. I appreciate an upfront guy. Dude, you would get my vote. I would vote for you because I appreciate...
Well, you don't know my stances on things
honest.
yet.
No, I'm saying, I'm saying the persona of honesty, yes, of upfront.
But that will cost you votes,
yes.
right? So if you want to fix things, quote unquote, it means you're going to have to change things, which means some of the people that are in... All of the people that are in office now are going to have to... Some of them are going to have to sacrifice, potentially, right?
Sure.
And the people who win, so TJ Lee, who was a friend of mine since Laurel Lake grade school, we're not friends anymore because he was a politician. He came in first place for city council. He's a friend of mine. Now, I don't cut you a pass because you're a friend of mine either. So if Chris wins too and he starts doing things that I completely am against, I will have to criticize him too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but like with this gentleman, do you know who I'm talking about? TJ?
Yeah, that's TJ. Yeah.
You know,
yes.
you guys know TJ?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
Yes.
So, I said to him once, I said, "Hey, give me 3 things." Cause I said, "Give me 3 things that you want to do." You think, and it was like free needles for drug addicts, and it was like free advertising at City Hall for businesses, and it was one of the things. I'm like, first off, nothing's free, right? It's like that. So just so you guys know, and people at home, I'm super conservative, right? I'm a libertarian, meaning people hear that.
Abolishist.
No one knows. Yeah, abolition.
Abolition.
I say I'm an abolitionist, right? That's like a side topic where I just say, I'm glad you brought that up because nobody ever asked me about that ever, right? So again, I believe we're all slaves, right? So you have.
Bro, I'm interested. I just want you to know that. You're here because I'm very interested in
I love to talk about this stuff, right? So I think in 2025, again, whether you're paying 20% taxes or whatever, or you just have all these laws and rules passed, you don't own your own life, right? Like you're in a level of servitude, basically.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And you may get to choose your job or whatever, but people are stealing 4 months for 4 months of your life. Like you're not working for yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
right.
People want to say that's a civilized situation.
Some would call it slavery.
How about this? And they always want to say, oh, it's for police and fire and roads. All that shit is going to bombs in fucking Israel and Ukraine, and
we know it's not for infrastructure because this city is a 100%. Toilet.
Now here's the thing too, where do I come up with my political beliefs? Right. It's not from opinion shit that I watch on the news. So in 2003, I'm in the National Guard. Right, Massachusetts National Guard. I joined when I was 17. My mom had to sign, right, because I wasn't 18. Yeah. And in 2003, I get sent to Iraq. Right? So I get sent to Iraq, and what comes out, right? Weapons of mass destruction is all bullshit, right? I was into Crit, Saddam Hussein's hometown, right? Northern tip of the Sudan.
What was that like? I don't want to get too far up.
Yeah, I was an aviation guy. I'm not a fucking Navy SEAL, right? So I worked on helicopters, but it's still fucked with me.
Dude, you're there.
Yeah, check it out. Oh, being there sucks, right? So my room that I slept in was a shipping container. So it was about from here to this wall, bed, right? Shout out to Nathan Samiro and Shane Fontaine were my roommates out there.
Thank you for your service, gentlemen.
But really quickly, dude, the thing I came away from that was, so again, just being aviation, I would talk to Apache pilots coming back from missions in kitchen. They're like, oh yeah, I know we dropped missiles on these fucking guys. So I wasn't in the shit, but I knew that I was part of this effort, right? That in hindsight comes out, and the reason why they're chasing Julian Assange for 20 years is like the Wikipedia leaks and actually collateral damage. And on the way here, I'm listening to WSIR. They're like, oh my God, this stuff is so horrible in Gaza. I'm like, you should have seen what the United States did in Afghanistan and Iraq for 20 years. And again, people can be mad at me, but I don't fucking care.
Well, no. What's fair is fair, dude. 20 years, those people had no idea. We left the occupation, and you had 20-year-old adults that had no idea what it was like to live under a Taliban regime. Like, to me, people lose sight of that.
Yeah.
These people were, it was almost like Puerto Rico, right? It's almost like you have so much American presence and then gone.
Yeah.
And now you're left to fend for yourself.
Yeah.
Our people that we hired, we left them behind.
So, and again, my thing is, so at 18, and we mentioned something about this earlier. Yeah. You're a product of your environment. You come from Portugal, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm a product from the projects of Fall River, Massachusetts. And at 18, my mom says, I'm going to vote for the first time. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Yeah. And she says, you're voting for Al Gore because we're poor and Democrats represent poor people. So I'm like, boom, checked it off. So I voted for Al Gore, right? 03 now I'm in New Jersey, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, waiting to go overseas, Fort Dix. Yeah. And I vote by absentee ballot. And the issue at the time was John Kerry and George Bush talking about the money they're spending on war. Yeah. And Kerry was saying you go to war with the military you have, and Bush was pushing for more military spending. So the specific thing was up-armored Humvees. So I'm like, I'm going to be out there. I want the guy who's going to spend the most money. Right?
Sure,
so I vote for George Bush in 03. By 07, I know the whole thing was bullshit, bro. So they just sent me to war based on a fucking lie. So after 2004, 5, 6, 7, I knew to never trust the government ever again.
Right.
In 2025, how we could sit here after COVID and anyone trust the government, bro, it fucking boggles my mind. Sure. It goes to the mass psychosis of the brainwashing and controlling
it's
people.
So much like the ISIS, right? So how do you convince someone?
It is like ISIS.
And again, right? Like, how do you convince someone to strap a bomb on and walk into a building and kill 200 innocent people? Because they were brought up that way. That's the world that they know. People, they're not. Look, these are heroes.
Yeah.
In their minds, they are. Look, bro, you go into a building and save a baby from a burning building. Yeah. You're a hero. Yeah. These people are going in, blowing this up, and to their people, they're heroes.
Yeah.
This is what they know.
Or again, it's always the battle. One person's freedom fighters, the other person's terrorist. It's always that narrative battle.
Always.
Same thing with Ukraine and everyone thinks you're on the right
side. The jihad,
side.
bro. We're fighting the jihad.
Everyone thinks you're on the right side, dude. So my thing is, again, let me just jump forward years now, right? So I voted for George Bush. By 08, I knew it was bullshit, right? And again, my boy Dave Folger from Fall River, he's like, dude, you might want to check out these libertarians, right? Mm-hmm. So I meet Ron Paul, who was like the greatest politician since fucking the Founding Fathers, right? This guy's a superhero.
Yeah, I remember Ron. Yeah.
There's like two guys. Recent history was Ron Paul. Right now it's like Thomas Massey. He's like the reincarnation of Ron Paul, but that's what I believe in, is like the government should just be core things, requirements.
Like a corporation. You run a business lean. You have a CEO, and you run the structure. Yeah. It's very important to keep that structure. I think when you have all this fat and earmark all over the place, there's no money for the people, bro. You can't run the company.
So outrageous. So another thing too is like this Doge stuff, right? Like I'm a big Elon Musk fan, right? Yes. So read his biography by Walter Isaacson. Sorry. Oh, he's up there. Yeah, it's a picture of him smoking weed on Joe Rogan's podcast, right?
There he is.
So who's that under him? Is that Tesla up there?
That's Tesla, right above his head.
And Einstein, right? Yes. So who else do we have up there? Some sports people.
Yeah, Tom Brady.
I'm a huge Tom Brady fan, dude.
Yeah, Pedro Martinez.
And I'm gonna lose all my fans, right? I'm a Steelers fan, right? Oof. But Tom Brady, again, like
respect. Bro.
I always say my wife is like Tom Brady, right?
Respect.
Because I met my wife, and 3 months later she was pregnant with our first kid, right?
Oh, wow.
My son went. So it wasn't a years-long vetting process. My wife's probably mortified that I'm saying that, right? But who cares?
Yeah, but you knew. Love at first sight, bro.
But no, I didn't know. Yeah. We were just, in the beginning, it's head over heels, bro. Yeah. I've never stopped hanging out with her since that day. Met her at my buddy's dive bar, right? Which is now closed. But yeah, met her at a dive bar. It's like the worst possible circumstances that you can meet someone, right? But like the Patriots passing 6 times on this dude, they just got lucky. They got lucky.
Eventually.
Bro. I got lucky with my wife. We didn't know. We just loved each other.
What's her name?
Jennifer.
Shout out, Jennifer.
Des Noyes, but obviously Silvia now.
Yeah.
But yeah, but Tom Brady.
Like I told Aaron real quick, behind every great man. But go ahead.
Oh, dude, no doubt. You can't be successful. Yeah. And again, guys that I followed throughout the years. So back to Kiyosaki, I've paid $500 to go to the Hilton in Providence for a 2-day seminar by Kiyosaki's team. They try to sell you $60,000 real estate training, right? But whatever. This guy who taught it was this guy, Mark Risco, out of Virginia. He's a firefighter. And dude, it was just 2 straight days of phenomenal real estate information, right? Yeah. I'm friends with him to this day. Me and my wife are sitting in the thing, and he's looking at everybody. He goes, bro, one of you guys are going to be like, put your house up for a HELOC, pull all the money out, sell your house, and go do 3 flips, right? And the wife will maybe be like, oh, I don't want to do that. You're conservative. He's like, if you can't be swimming in the same boat in the opposite direction. He's like, so if you guys, he says to a crowd of 100 strangers, he's like, if you guys are going in the opposite direction, he's like, break up now. Me and my wife looked at each other. We're like, this is like a cult, bro. This is not, dude, it's like the best advice. The guy was just back to how I try to be. The guy was just being real, not really caring about.
Save yourself the time, bro. Save yourself the heartache.
Yes, he's not trying to offend people, but
he's doing something, dude. He's on stage and he's talking to how many people, bro?
He's a super killer in real estate.
Yeah.
But again, that all goes back to, again, my wife. You can't be successful if your wife is poisoning your fucking coffee in the morning.
Friends do that too.
Or whatever, gambling addiction. Dude, I've heard and seen it all.
Yep.
And the sick part is I look around at all my friends and family, like it's not the majority of people don't have these awesome relationships. I see a lot of people have busted up relationships, staying together for their kids or already broken up. I just lucked out. Dumb luck, bro.
Yeah.
Same thing even with real estate. So fortune plays into it.
Okay.
Right? You do as much hard work as you can. You
put yourself in the right spots, right?
100%.
Right.
But even like buying the house in 2017, the irresponsibility of all the politicians just printing trillions and trillions of dollars and all the crazy inflation that's murdered everybody so that no one can buy a house right now. Mm-hmm. I wasn't a genius. We just sat there and everything just tripled in value. You know, if I had bought the house in 07 or whatever, went like Sean Kadim, he got beat up for
right before the 208 bubble.
You know, people walked away from properties, right? I just happened to be lucky.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So luck has a part of it. But again, I want kids in Fall River, poor kids, to be exposed, you know, like even with the cell phone bans and whatnot. And I remember back in 2014, it was with that show Undercover High came on. It was in like Oklahoma. Yeah. They had adults pretending to be kids. And dude, they're showing kids having rap battles. Dude, you can buy a $200 million building, bro. And like if you're teaching them algebra, fucking, you know, if a plane leaves New York due west at this amount, and that's all bullshit. And kids can see that. They're looking at what you're giving them, and like, this is never gonna help my life, so they just tune it out.
Yes.
Now, another quick thing too, like, so again, if this guy wins, I'm trying to push him to bring massive financial literacy to the schools. And so with the current superintendent, I said to her, I went to a school committee meeting. I said, hey, this book, a couple other books that have been like instrumental in my life, I'm like, the kids should see this stuff. Just put it in their hands, even if a certain percentage of them actually read it. And she said she was going to read the book, and she did. She's like, oh, I learned some stuff. The lady before her, Maria Ponce, was the last superintendent. She was just like, oh, no, they say we already teach financial literacy, right? Even the school committee meetings, like Tom Corey says, is like,
what's the curriculum?
This is what they say. No, this is what they say. You know, it's like how to balance a checkbook. That's like basic survival, bro, right? So the analogy I use is like, say we said every kid in Fall River needs to learn how to play chess, right? You would teach them how the pieces move, right? So like every kid in Fall River would know, like, boys club level how to play. You're not fucking Bobby Fischer, bro.
Right.
You can teach these kids. So again, I've bought houses with 0% interest, or trying to think other crazy fucking moves. I'm not even an expert.
So no money down. There's so many, like, first time. There's so many
seller finance and sub 2 deals.
Yep.
So that stuff is just not taught. When you went to an open house for a multifamily in Fall River, there'd be 200 people showing up to buy it, right? Instead of the same 20 killers. You have 20 people who know what the fuck they're talking about in real estate, and I can name them all because you see them at all the open houses, and they, you know, they drive $300,000 cars. Some of them are not flashy, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I just want to, and I asked Kadero, can you teach every kid how to be like this? He's like, yeah, but vast majority are not going to, which I say that is okay too, and I respect that. But at least give them
an option. It's an option.
Give them an opportunity, and then say, I want to do something less risky or whatever.
Sure,
you know?
sure. I think that's amazing. I don't think a lot of people are actually banging that drum. They're really not.
Dude.
But I think it's so very important. Dude, I say it all the time. I hate the cliche in it, but the children are our future, bro. They really are, bro. They really, really are.
Who was that? Whitney Houston?
There was Whitney Houston. I believe the children. Yeah. So listen, real quick, a couple things. Sure. So first, I want to ask you, because this is kind of like today I'm driving.
I don't know who's got better legs, me or this guy.
You know, I was thinking the same thing. They hit the tan with the golden hairs. You know what I mean?
This guy's at the beach way more than I am. That's all right.
So what I like to call the black spot of the city, and the black spot of the city was a period of time where we had Jason Correa, mayor of the city, and then Flanagan kind of came in there. Yeah. And so I just, in full disclosure, I left the city for a couple of years. I went to Berkeley. I lived in Berkeley. I was married, and then got divorced. And I said, you know what? My mom is still in the city. She refuses to leave, and I'm like, let me be closer to her. So I came back to the city. Yeah. So this all happened when I was kind of away, and then I come back and I talk to all these people, and I just, you know what? Honestly, bro, I want to ask you what you think, because what I hear doesn't make any sense to me, right? I hear that people were in cars together, people had guns, there were threats, and then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, there were dispensaries like Dunkin' Donuts. Every corner, there's a dispensary. How does this all come to fruition?
That's so awesome. Yeah, it's a funny, again, it's like kind of a funny period in my life too. So again, back to the political stuff, right? So how I even got involved in the political stuff is in 2014, right? Flanagan's the mayor, and I'm just got sick of seeing all these politicians lie and be feeble and pass the bucket. Coogan's doing it now. You just saw with that fire, right? He's like, I don't know what. Don't blame me. It's the fire, bro. Like that's not again in the military. Like you kind of have to.
It's me.
Take accountability,
it's me. Yes,
right?
It's me. The buck stops here,
bro.
Yes.
Those the rank and file fire and police. I lost in that was the same week FRPD's being fired upon. And they're still understaffed.
And then unions like,
and you have civilians in charge like Coogan, who again he's like admittedly again is like he's like I'm just a vice principal. It's like you know what I mean. It was just a bad moment, bro. Right. But
very bad.
Worse than that,
said a few of them.
So worse than that was again Flanagan at the time. So whatever. I started criticizing the government back then, right? 2014. So then I wrote I don't know how many people know this. I wrote the petition to have Will Flanagan recalled. He's the first sitting mayor in Massachusetts history to be recalled out of office. I wrote the petition. There were groups that were trying it before then. Bro,
I love that you did something. Like I want you to know that. Like nothing else. I'm so like proud that you actually did something, bro.
Yeah.
Nobody does anything.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
And that goes back to the Chris thing, right? So it's like whatever motivations are, whatever. When I see someone in the winter 6 days a week in January out there doing the thing, it's like people criticize motives and all. It's like you did the thing. You did the thing. And also, do you do more than the person you're criticizing? If not, right?
Right.
And dude, I have mad skin in the game when it comes to the political shit, right?
Sure.
Write the petition, right? And then we go down and people tried it twice prior. The corporation counsel, the lawyer for the city said, "Oh no, the paperwork's wrong." So when I went, now there was a relationship between the mayor and her, right? So when I go down there, I go down with, again, kind of the beginning of social media really taking off in 2014. So I go down there with 20 people and we have cameras going and say, hey, you're going to have to arrest all of us right now because I know I was already an intern working at a law office.
So
I said, dude, this is all legit. Yeah. If you don't accept this paperwork, you're going to have to arrest 20 people right now. Yeah. They took the paperwork. Fast forward, the recall election happens. So like I said, I see Coogan like flailing about now. I saw Flanagan in the end of his time, Jaziel in the end of his time, Sutter the entire time he was the mayor. They're all they start like looking irrational.
Why do you think? What is it?
It's like the Lord of the Rings, the Ring of Power.
Right, like they lose. Bro, like, what is it?
I hate to keep beating up on Coogan. You're an old man, right? Like, bro, go retire. Right. And now, again, their stated reason is I just love Wolf. There's an awesome picture of Will Flanagan with his hand over his heart like this, like, which is memed into fucking oblivion. Right. He's like this. It's like so disingenuous.
I see it.
Yeah, politician.
I see it.
And it's like they just love the city so much. They just have to. They just, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, they're in it for personal financial gain, and they'll throw everyone in forever under the bus. You know what I mean? And they'll just fail, and everyone takes the brunt of it.
Dude, I gotta be honest with you. I'm almost surprised that it's the money, because I say to myself, is there really that much money?
It's not that for 120 grand.
That's people will lose, dude.
But it's that for you, and then for your cohorts, and then it's and then Jaziel's making 50 grand per license. It becomes lucrative at some point, right? It's not all about. And I said this about Jaziel, like. You know, with politicians, like congressmen, for instance, they don't just get like a bag with a dollar sign on it for 200 grand. They go pass all the bills that are favorable for the industry that they want, and then they go get a no-show job for 500 grand a year after they leave office. That's how it's legal and immoral and corruption, but that's how they do it. They don't. This kid was just shaking down people like mafia style. You know what I mean? It was a crude version, very in your face. Yeah. He only shook down the wrong people, because I always say that. How did he not end up in the trunk of a fucking car?
Do you think there was like? Do you think it was a little bit of psychological there? Do you think there was like that ego?
It's a million%. So I remember seeing
the Napoleon complex.
I remember seeing Will Flanagan at 17 years old bagging groceries at Stop and Shop, and the kid was an incel and never had a girlfriend, right? And so now you become the mayor, and people are like praising you. Right. You're getting girls for the first time in your life. This happened to Flanagan and Jaziel. And I say you get a little bit of like vagina, and they lost their fucking minds. Like that's what I think happened. If you ask my opinion,
dude,
that's
empires have fallen.
Yeah. Not the first or the last.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that was in play with those guys. They flipped their wigs because they got a little money and some girls.
And so do you think like the whole, like, again, that marijuana industry kind of got, it was so much going on and there was really no regulation, right? It was a wild, wild west.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like the government had, look, we've never done this before. So we're making the rules as we go, right? And
How about this? All the state reps and Mike Roderick at the time were like, oh, it's the devil's lettuce. No. They all, it passed by like voter referendum, right? Yeah. So then it became, let's make as much money as we can. I just saw a post by a guy I voted for vice president, Spike Cohen, right, under Joe Jorgensen. So, he said, the government outlawed the lottery and became the only lottery, right? And then they outlawed drugs, and now they're the only ones who can sell drugs. They don't outlaw the thing; they outlaw their competition. Like that's the reality that we live in.
That's the Amazon. It's like Amazon, the company. It's like Amazon. If you have a great product, they buy you out. They take you right off the shelf.
The sickest part is if they were just another company, that would be kind of all's fair in like business.
Right.
But they're the government. They just shut you down. They stole the weed market, in Massachusetts.
Yes. Yes.
So that's a whole other.
So listen, before we get, because
shoot, I'm gonna grab some pizza though.
Yes, let's do it. Let's do some pizza. So while we do this, right? So this is a segment I want to do. It's a new segment, bro. We just started this today, and it's called A Drunk Man's Words.
Hit me.
All right. A drunk man's words.
I'm good at this.
A drunk man's words is typically a sober man's thoughts. Correct? Agreed? All right. So I'm gonna say a name, and then you give us the first thing that comes to your brain.
Rorschach test.
All right. Here we go. Mayor Paul Coogan.
Feeble old man.
Okay. All right. Boomer Amaral.
Good guy.
I didn't put this one in there. Giselle Correa.
Tekashi 6ix9ine, criminal motherfucker. Probably lost his virginity in jail. Right. Next name.
Diddy. Will Flanagan.
Again. Honestly, I have to give. I'm supposed to. Is a one-word response or just?
Well, it's a drunk. You know what? It's a drunk man's word. So technically, you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Okay. I give him props because I feel like no one's done more with less tools. I feel like he's like borderline slow person, and he's actually accomplished a lot in life. He's. How about this? If I had to leave him he's a drug dealer. Drug dealer now. Will Flanagan. Used to be a bad thing. Now it's like
he's legal.
How about? Let me just say this real quick. Yeah. Another thing I hate about the propaganda of the world, same thing. It was devil's lettuce. Now it's fucking like vitamins, right? Like, it can't it just be like a thing? Like, don't tell me it's fucking good for me, bro. Like, smoke weed now. Like, I should have my kids smoking weed. It's good for their glaucoma. Yeah. It's the propaganda, bro. You know what I mean? It is what it is. The fucking.
I believe if you're not motivated, it completely terminates you. Like if you have motivation, you go. No motivation, you're done. It's over.
I feel like it's different effect on different people.
Yeah.
I know people that. Here's another one I love. I've tried stand-up a couple times too. I think I'm gonna go. Oh yeah, the bomb, hardcore bomb.
I love this.
Yeah, I think I'll take. Well, I'm a funny guy, right? If we're just we're hanging out and being funny, but
I wouldn't have guessed that. I'm kidding.
Yeah. But the weed thing, I know people that have to smoke weed for 40 years before they go to work in the morning. Right, like it's not like it is almost like vitamins for them.
But if it makes them function, even if it's placebo, it gets them out of the house, right?
So check it out. This whole idea of OUI weed is like I don't even know where the fuck that comes from, right? So it's like because I know people who just smoke weed every day and drive to fucking up 93 and go do construction for 40 years and never been in a car accident.
Brain surgery.
But again, it's a law. Like OUI, like you smoked weed and drove a car.
You can't even drive a boat anymore, dude.
Can't drive a boat?
Right, if you smoke weed and drive a boat, OUI.
Boats and hoes. You got to put
Boats
the weed
and
down.
Hose. I love that.
Put the weed down.
All right, let's continue. Linda Pereira.
Ramen noodles.
I saw her the other day. That's so funny, ramen noodles. I saw her the other day. She's aging.
I just posted before I came here. Sorry, I'm eating while I'm speaking to my phone.
I'm gonna, so you don't feel bad, you want in?
Give that a shot. Vodka
sauce. What's up, Gary?
Vodka sauce, ricotta cheese, and meatballs. That's a bomb pizza, right? I posted right before I came in here about Linda Pereira, because just to get serious for a second, the reason Florida has the problems that it has is because of you. Well, at least you know who she is. Most people in Florida don't even know who she is, right? So again,
my mom puts her sign in there.
Hey, that's fine, right? So back in 2014, I'm probably gonna get like meatballs on your microphone. Right. Hey, but through the whole political stuff, when I got involved with the purple bags and all this bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
this is delicious.
Check this out. Another thing is like go into the city meetings, right? Go to the city meetings, bro. Right? Go sit in the fucking audience and watch. Last night there was a school committee meeting. They argued for an hour about accepting a petting zoo that was donated to the city already in the past. And it's Linda's daughter and Coogan and... Dude, it's a fucking shit show. Coogan was making fun of Colin's tie a couple months. Dude, it's all bad, but people don't watch it, you know? So people don't attend those meetings. I've gone to those meetings. So, like, my kids learn from an online charter school, right? So it's not like they're homeschooled because the curriculum's provided. They get a laptop. But they do it from my house. The state passed a law that let the city put a cap on how many kids can take that option. Because for every kid that takes it, the city loses like 20 grand or whatever.
Yeah, that's not your problem.
Bro, hey, the city voted to restrict it to only 1% of all the children in Fall River can do. So now that's when I get angry, right? So I went to one of the meetings. I said, dude, you're hurting children. We're at a school committee meeting where everyone says they're here for the kids. But really, you're here to lock out.
Tell me why you're doing that.
You talk about competition in Amazon. It'd be like if Coke could outlaw Pepsi could only be sold to 1% of the population. But that's what happens with education in Fall River. Dude, it's sick. It's sick. So, but again, no one knows. You guys know who Linda Pereira is. So I just posted before I came in here. I said, that's the problem with Fall River. This lady says, while Pay As You Throw was going on, the trash bag thing, right? Oh, trash bag. She says, hey, if you can't afford the trash bags, people got to eat less steak and eat more ramen noodles. So your elected official is telling... Now, this lady doesn't miss a fucking meal, right? Like, I'm not trying to beat
I
her
saw
up,
her... Listen,
she's got 6 family houses.
I was at the Azores restaurant the other day, and she was there eating.
She does well, bro.
Yep,
she does well.
Absolutely.
But for a person who does well in life, to tell poor people to feed their kids ramen noodles, like... I almost can't even articulate how fucking angry that makes me. And then not only was she not ostracized or stoned in the biblical sense, like she won 5 elections since then, right? So it's like, I don't know if people just don't know. People don't care.
Dude, they don't know, bro.
People are fucking hand to mouth, and you're so on the hamster wheel just trying to survive one more day.
If you're not sharing that, nobody knows that happened. Nobody's going to the meetings. Nobody has any idea. You know what they vote for? Their name. They see the name. Oh, Portuguese, Democrat. Oh, here we go. Done. Dude, it's done. My mom came here. She's a citizen. God bless her. Her and my dad, both citizens. And she told me when she got here and she signed all the paperwork and she swore and said the Pledge of Allegiance, they told her, you vote blue, D. It's for your people. That's what she said. It's for your people. My mom had that perception. What does your people mean? In my mind, she in her mind, she's like, okay, he's Orient people. This is what we're supposed to do. And her whole life, dude. Her whole life, bro.
Portuguese people. You're a handsome guy, right?
Thank
you got the island look. But hey, I want to just step back. We said about the immigrant thing.
Yep.
Because I said this on Jess Machado's show, and she was like, it's on radio. You can't tell. Yeah. But she was like,
I like Jess. Jess does a lot of great work.
Oh, she's hardcore. I will say this about her right now: do not get on her wrong side, right? Like there's a couple people out there. Yeah. I'm one of them, right? So, like, Coogan wishes I moved the fuck out or got hit by a car, right? Because I'm just dropping firebombs on the guy every day. So that post I did about him, I'm like, oh, my God, they put him in they whisked him away to a nursing home. It's got 100,000 views in one fucking day, right?
That's beautiful.
That's hilarious.
That's beautiful.
So we talked about that, about back in the day with Flanagan, because, again, social media was just starting. So around Flanagan, Jay-Z times, memes were new.
Yep. Yeah.
Right? And that, like, nuked them guys and took them out, right? So, again, I post one about Jay-Z, our next mayor, right, when he gets out of prison. Yeah. It's just Tekashi 6ix9ine with, like, 2 chicks on the side of him. And I'm just like, Jay-Z's revenge tour, right? Because, like, the kid looks just like him, bro. And he's a gang. Who knows what he's going to be.
Right.
There was no, like, falling on the sword and apologies. He went to jail with, like, 0 apologies, you know what I mean? So he's back to, again, you want to be successful in life, own your shit, bro.
True.
Put down the shovel.
Yep.
You're a fucking con man.
Yep.
Own up to it, right?
Yeah, but I think there's psychosis there, bro. I believe that there is
100%.
that ego, that complex.
20 years ago, whether it was just someone begging on the side of the road or it was an evil person, I had to argue. I remember at UMass Dartmouth, I had to argue with one of my professors. No one's a bad person. I'm like, Charles Manson? What the fuck you talking about?
Right.
And I used to hate, like, bad people not who I perceive to be bad people, like someone who killed children. Everyone's going to universally.
You get emotional. It's emotional.
No, but clearly there's people, I do think people act in their rational self-interest. You're just a fucked up person if you're doing stuff like that. So I can have a little empathy. I still would be for, like, the death. Like, if you kill someone, I don't think you should ever see the light of day. You know what I mean? I'm not for like if you take someone out, you can't reverse that.
Yeah, wood chipper.
You know what I mean? But again, who knows what the greater, on all of the stuff is.
Yeah.
But on the political sense, dude, like I said, I mean, I'm a conservative guy. But I wanted to talk about, like, again, just with Shadow, when you mentioned that the immigrants.
Yes.
If you come here, you jump the border, and you fucking work and pay your bills, I got zero problem with you. Right? Because you were like, oh, my parents are, dude, I don't care if you fucking came here last week.
Yep.
Right? So, because, again, a libertarian thing, and I'm saying this to Jess Michelle, she's a Republican. She's conservative from that angle, right?
Yep.
So I was like, what do you mean you broke the law? I'm like, dude, I would trade. Trump is so fucking crazy, right? So I voted for Trump in this last time, right? And he's saying, he'll say shit that I've said half tongue in cheek. I'm like, we should be sending Americans the fuck out of here, right? Because there's plenty of Americans homegrown who are fucking bad people, bro. Right. You're fake disability.
But they're ours, though. But they're ours.
Fake disability or super criminal your whole life. Fucking 60, 100
Mm-hmm.
entries on your border probation. Like, send them motherfuckers to Alligator, Alcatraz. Like it matters that you were born here, bro. I don't care. Now, that's a problem in society. We just let these fucking people run roughshod. You know what I mean? And like that's where the crime comes from. But back to that original point. So if you come here, bro, and you pay your taxes and support yourself and work hard, right? I don't care if you do paperwork or not, right? Like libertarians aren't huge on like the border thing. It's like it's a government construct. This is where Mexico starts and U.S. ends, right? But
that's why we have work visas.
Yeah, 100%. Now again, if you're a big enough company, you do whatever. They just said New Bedford's hiring people who aren't American citizens. That's like a big fucking kind of dust up.
Until Optimus gets
my
here.
point is
Optimus will get here.
Yeah, my point is Maura Healey now, again, because it's always this huge pendulum swing. Now it's like, forget that you came here. It's like, you don't have to work. You don't have to. We're going to coddle you like to the level of take care of you better than every American. Yes. Bro, who in their right mind? And again, this is what I tell people too. If this was 5 years ago, the economy's humming, whatever, not COVID, but like, point to a time when the economy was doing great in a recent memory. When we can afford shit personally, like people aren't going to care as much.
Right.
Dude, when the average American's getting smoked financially, that's one of my. Go ahead.
When you pay $400 for electricity and gas, and then she's saying, "I stopped the pipelines," and she's proud of that shit.
Yes,
that's why you're paying $400 for your gas and your electric.
100%. That green scam.
Right. Exactly.
Check it out. My biggest problem, dude. My biggest criticism and the thing that I hate the fucking most is the gaslighting, right? So I just posted about this with Maura Healey.
Real quick, if people want to follow you, how do they find you? Real quick.
How about this? If you want to support me, support my fucking business, right? Like,
okay.
Order pizza. You know what I mean? You'll get food and you're helping me out.
So what's the address? What's the phone number?
Fiorentina Italian Kitchen, right? 1833 North Main. Someone's probably going to firebomb the fucking place tonight, which is fine. I have insurance. But then, obviously on social media, right?
Yep.
I have my old Jordan Silvia for Fall River page, which I've been, playing around with. Yeah. That's when I was running for office.
Okay.
But dude, so again, going back to the lady from WSI asked me the other day, how come you wanted to be a politician? I'm like, I never wanted to be a politician. I said I ran on legalizing prostitution, fucking legalizing drugs, and being straight out and open, right? Because again, I don't believe in these like government prohibition things. We're not. If you're 18 plus, you should do whatever you want.
Right. You can die for the country.
Other than hurting anyone. Right.
Right.
But when you say things like that, you have no chance of being elected, right? Because 80-year-old people in all these housing developments, that's where the polling locations are. They think you're like worse than Hitler, like the shit that you're saying.
Right.
So, but again, I wasn't going to lie. Now, if you want to win an election,
but the Democrats did that, though. And this is no offense to the Democrats, but that's exactly what they did. You know, like New York and California, where they're not prosecuting for these little misdemeanors. That's exactly what they did.
Lawlessness. You see those fucking flash mobs where they're stealing everything. And again, I'm definitely not a fan.
Pizza's fucking awesome, bro.
I appreciate it. I think it's a bomb, right?
I can't stop eating it.
So, Tony Cadiro's wife says it's her favorite pizza she's ever had, right? Love you, Kira. But, yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of... I think I'll lose a bunch of people. They'll fucking hate me, whatever, is what it is. I'm not going to lie, bro. I think politics is an evolution you start off early when you're poor and don't know much about the world as like, oh, we're going to help with this whole socialism thing. And dude, I come from the project, so I believe in a safety net. I've been saying this. How fucked up is it that when I grew up as a kid, I thought living in the project was bad. I had an apartment, bro.
Yeah, right.
Right? Now you live in a tent. And we've only spent about 30 trillion probably since the 80s when I was a kid.
Yep.
Right? We've overspent by tens of trillions of dollars for the quality of life to get worse. And then back to the gaslighting. If you ask Carol Fiola, Maura Healey, anyone in the White House, either side,
I think she's on my list.
If you're an incumbent, they just say they say they've done a great job. They're bringing home the bacon. But then we said about the utility bills.
Yep.
But if you talk to people, everyone has to buy groceries every week. Everyone has to pay the utilities. Everyone has to pay
ramen noodles.
Their fucking rent, bro. So again, I'm a landlord now. Back to being lucky, like Tom Brady, like the Patriots drafting Tom Brady, just stepping in shit and getting lucky. I have some apartments and the rent triples because of how irresponsible, and it's ironic. So like I'm sitting there saying these politicians need to stop printing fucking trillions of dollars. They're inflating the money to hell.
Yep. Shit
that I've learned, Creature from Jekyll Island, right? Like if you don't learn that shit, bro,
Yeah, people don't
buy this. You buy the socialism stuff, right? That like Bernie's great and AOC and right now I'm finishing right now Atlas Shrugged, right, on audiobook. It's a 53-hour book. I got like 19 hours left.
I'm in that. I appreciate the time error piece. Like the fact of when that was written, like the Iron Age,
57.
Dude, that's what built this country. That's what built this nation.
Yes.
And to hear that conversation, man, that's one of the best books. That's one of the best books, bro.
Again, and again, if you love this country, every kid gets exposed to that in school.
Absolutely.
Now this is again, I'm going to offend a lot of people, and I don't care. Why don't kids learn that, right? Like a capitalism, right? Like Gordon Gekko. They say in Atlas Shrugged, I'm sitting here shooting in framing at my house in Somerset today, right? Like all day, sweating my whatever off and listening to this audiobook, right? And there's a part where they're like, Robin Hood was the worst person in history, like the worst, right? Because it's like the idea of stealing from the rich to give to the poor. It's very romanticized, and people are like, that's great, but it's like, that whole book is about like this political takers and parasites, and like Elon Musk. He's an awful human.
Dog eat dog.
Shouldn't exist.
Dog eat dog.
This guy is changing the fucking world, and all those people. Henry Ford, like his autobiography, dude, is like one of the greatest business books I've ever listened to. And these guys have just raised up the standard of living. And again, who creates the jobs for the fucking people to then? But in Atlas Shrugged, it's like, your economy gets tough. Just triple their salary and fucking triple the amount of employees you have, and the company is sitting there like, we can't fucking afford that.
Right.
And they're also like, we're going to pay you half of the freight charge too at the same time. They just centrally command
everything.
Everything to oblivion.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And dude, we're living in that now.
Right.
So you have that. You have Aldous Huxley, right? Brave New World, same thing. Like ultra consumerism. You get a hole in if your pants get dirty, throw them away. Don't clean them.
Yes.
Because they just want you to be a consumer forever. You know what I mean? And family is gross. Like you don't want to have family. You like the state. And dude, there's so much propaganda. These people predicted this shit from 100 years ago.
Yes.
Dude, and we're living in it right now.
How do you feel about abolishing taxes altogether?
I don't know how feasible that is.
Right.
It should. I think this is funny. I think every human being across both sides of the aisle would all agree. The shit should be reduced to the lowest form so that no one's being exploited.
Yeah, we shouldn't be anywhere near 58%.
But they just argue about what that fucking means.
Right.
But no. So like the guys who started this country, right? They weren't fans of the government, right? They said it in the best light, most favorable light. They called it a necessary evil.
Absolutely.
They didn't say it was a necessary good thing.
Which is why the Declaration of Independence was written.
Yeah, bro, those people were fucking putting their life on the line.
Absolutely.
And again, everybody talks about this, but these guys went to war with 3% T-tax, and like we get like capital gains now or whatever it is.
They're making it impossible. They've got everything tapped. Yeah, they got everything tapped out. You know what's funny? I was in Dominican a couple of years ago. My buddy Gary. And while I was in the Dominican, we met some people from Cuba. And she was diehard Trump. Like, that, I mean, from across the pool, man. Like, it was, I saw her, we all kind of, we hung out. And she, what I found most interesting is because, I love to talk. I don't know if you could tell.
Yeah.
What she offered me, she said, you know what, Bobby? I come to this country. My parents came to this country. And the one thing we wanted to do when we came here was escape socialism, to escape what was happening to us in Cuba. And then you come here and you realize that all these Americans have no idea that it's right in front of them. Like that this is actually happening to them right now. And here we are, the Cubans going, no, stop, please, no. Like you don't want this in your life. So it's like, it's so funny that people from a different country will have the visibility to that and we are literally blind to it.
That's where the term like first world problem comes from, right? So like we're sitting here like
yes, bro.
what we think is bad,
yes,
right? Like if you've actually lived through, oh my God, I saw a post on Twitter yesterday where somebody was saying communism is actually about love and, taking care of each other and all this stuff.
Communists have single-handedly killed more human beings than any disease, any wars ever in this history of mankind.
This old Russian dude retweeted it and said communism loved 50 million people, right, to death. And it's like, again, maybe that's an extreme because, again, capitalism has its faults too. But, again, if you're talking about, like, back to, like, Atlas Shrugged, dude, it's like the market is supposed to be what solves all these things. And once you stop propping up, dude, that's all these politicians do, by the way. That's what these wars are. These wars are propping up fucking all these defense, the military-industrial complex.
They're all actors, bro. They're all actors.
And now here's the thing, though. Again, if it wasn't so bad in Fall River for the rank-and-file person, you wouldn't really care if they're like, oh, just another $50 billion to fucking Ukraine or to Israel or whatever, right, in Iraq and Afghanistan, all this shit. But, like, when you're getting smoked and you can't afford to provide for your own children.
Because I got to buy trash bags, bro.
Because, right? And there's not enough firefighters and 10 fucking people die in a fire.
Right.
And
needlessly.
And you're like, I don't know. And then you're like, oh, actually, we found them. You know what I mean? It's like every other day it's a different fucking excuse.
Right. Much like, again, shifting a little bit, much like the chief of police of the city, why can't we get this right? What is the malfunction? You know what? Maybe it's not Kathy. Sorry, Kathy. Game over. Like, we're going to start fresh. We're going to start with somebody new ideas. Obviously, what you're doing now is not working for anybody. It's like thugs leaving knives and leaving guns and bullets in drawers. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, that whole stuff was crazy. And again, sadly, dude, and I know this because as a former police officer, like, it isn't unique to the police. Again, this is an Atlas Shrugged reference, right? It's like when you're in it.
Go read the book. If anybody's listening, go read that. You have to read that book.
But it's like, it's the politicking within, right? So if you're in a school department and you want to become a principal, bro, and you know what I mean? Like, it's all that shit. Like, so that kind of goes on, and it even happens in private industry too.
Yep, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, nepotism runs fierce. But at least in private industry, it's isolated. It's for the industry. But when you do it in this realm, like, a lot of people get hurt, bro.
Yeah.
Like, who's in charge? Hold on. Who's in charge of the streets? Like, I want to know his name. Like, what's the guy's?
I've always said that.
What's the one guy who I would be like, hey, bro, you're really doing a shitty job, man.
Yeah,
I just want to let you know that whatever it is, it's not working.
Oh, see, that's so funny because you're talking about, like, literally the street.
Literally the street, dude.
No, what I thought you were talking about was, like, who's the master criminals in Fall River? Right? Because, like, when I was a kid.
But I think we probably already know that. We probably already know the answers to that.
Well, like, are they walking the streets?
No, they're probably driving. Well, maybe, you know what? They're in the Highlands somewhere. They're not. Yeah, they're not. They don't come down. They don't come down here.
So again, growing up, I knew who the people were that you were like supposed
Egypt,
to be
bro.
afraid
of. It's like
of.
Egypt.
You know what I mean? Like, no, but it's funny because it's like even that, like they'll get the low level guys, but the high level people, you know what I mean, just kind of operate in impunity.
Dude, in the shadows. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
I heard some names recently, dude, that I had no idea who these people were. And now I'm like blown away because I'm preparing for you to come here, bro. I want to provide you with a good conversation, a great conversation. And I see these names, and for whatever reason, bro, I'm doing research, and this one particular name keeps coming up over and over and over again.
Who's
and
that?
then
Let's throw them out there.
And then I happen to catch a video with Jessica Machado, and she's talking to Coogan, and the name comes up again.
Oh, Ken
and it turns out that this dude is getting how much to do what? I want to apply for the job. Can I apply for that job?
Yeah.
I want that job.
Yeah, there's always, and again, that's true for every town.
So if people don't know what it is, what does he do? He is a.
I don't know. He's like.
What was it,
NGO.
David? What is it he does? What is it? He's Fiola. What does he do? Ken Fiola. What is his job? He's a. No, but he goes over the contracts. Yeah, but he does something with the contracts, right? He reviews contracts. And he gets $1,000 per contract.
Oh,
and
Coogan, that was the weed stuff that came out. That's a small thing of what he does.
But I'm saying, dude, even to me, I didn't know that. I had no idea. So if that's a small thing, imagine what's really going on.
100%.
Right? Right?
Yeah,
and so why is it that these people are working in the shadows and then we find out about them when it's not appropriate?
I think that always the people, whoever's in power, you know, this is since the beginning of time, bro. They have their friends and they fucking benefit and they pick and choose. So same thing. The bigger the government, the more they're picking and choosing winners.
It can't be the money. It's got to be more than the money.
Oh no, that's
right. Because it's got to be. It's bigger than money.
They have their little clique. They're in little incestuous clique, and they're all on the
Quickie Shan Club, hanging out at the Quickie Shan Club.
Oh, I didn't even know what that was. Yeah, it's all good. But yeah. So like they have their little clique, right? And they control things, and you know there's like social capital too, I guess. Like they want to kind of be like the person. I don't know, dude. I honestly don't know,
dude. As a citizen, not knowing, right? Like, so I'm just a guy in Florida. I'm walking down the street, right?
Yep.
Is that what I'm supposed to believe? That actually is what this city is. That you've got somebody in office who pretends to be the role, but is being controlled by forces outside of that. Like we have a little nucleus of the government, of a cover-up government here in Fall River. Like, is that what it is, bro?
Well, they were accusing Elon of that, right? They were saying Trump was the vice president.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I think there's always influences, right? And the only way that becomes an issue. Is if the government itself has so much power that they can wield it over everyone. You know what I mean? If they're just keeping the streets fucking paved and you're keeping them limited, if you limit what they can do, and that was what the founding fathers wanted. They wanted a small, limited government. Bro, it's gotten so. A great book I've read, I've listened to over last year, right? Overruled by Neil Gorsuch, the Supreme Court Justice. So the common sense, right? So this blows fucking people's minds, and I don't remember the statistics, but it's like the amount of, say it's like 100,000 pages of new legislation. They say to do nothing Congress, say they pass like 100,000 pages every day, every year in Congress of new laws. And they do that for fucking, I don't know, 50 years, right? So they basically have taken away all of our rights. You know what I mean? Because they're just coming up with new shit. Even with that fire, now it's like, oh, well, maybe assisted living places should have like X, Y. You know what I mean? Like they just clamp down, and their influence grows and grows and grows. No one attacks it.
It's micro.
No one shrinks it. Yeah, it's like the frog in the boiling water, right?
Yes.
It's like a little bit over time.
Micro.
Or then COVID happens and it's a lot all at once.
Yes.
And then it just like.
But they did it because they thought they could.
Check it out.
That's
though.
why that happened.
The metaphor perfectly applies because when they went too much too fast. I know people who are normies, right? Like I'm a conspiratorial minded person, right? Because I just follow history and I know all the times the government has done evil fucking things to Americans, right? Yeah. That's historical fact and record. But normal people have like a default position, like the government means well and does good things. They don't understand.
Yeah, but that's how we were brought up, right?
Now again,
Walter Cronkite told me, dude. I believed him.
Yeah, you're taught that also though in like government schools.
Yeah.
Right, so like these people have a vested interest. If you get paid, and again, this is where I'll lose 1,000 teachers in Fall River. Will say I'm an asshole and they'll fucking hate me and boycott my restaurant. But if you get paid off taxpayer money, you're not gonna teach new generations of kids that paying taxes is evil and theft. Taxation is theft. Right. Libertarian. Right. You're not gonna say that.
Bite the hand that feeds you.
You're right. Like it's just you don't even believe.
Right.
So again, they'll never be able to extract political. What do they want to say? And now it's gotten so bad. So when I ran for city council the last time, you get to do a 3-minute video at the FRC media, and I'm like, they don't have any time for a syllable of financial literacy in 13 years, but they have this one book. It's called the Real Life of a Indian, blah blah blah, whatever. Where there's it was a controversial book, but the kids in Fall River get it. Where like a line in the book is a student in the school brushes their erect penis up against a teacher, and it's not a big deal. It's like a normal fucking thing that happens with kids. And parents super objected to it, like across the country, right? But it's like,
I wonder why.
But when they talk about, again, like pushing agendas, that seems like, whoa, that's a crazy agenda, right? Like, and people can say, again, that's like too far, and people will push back. But again, to say like taxes and paying taxes is normal, people have already accepted that. That's
Jordan,
like civilized.
Aren't they parents too? Like, this is the part where I get, like, this is when
I
you
know
lose
a lot
me.
of teachers that don't send their kids to Florida Public
That's
Schools.
what I'm saying. Like,
they
so
work there, and they know better, so they, and I've said, and now again, because I'm an asshole, knowing that, I should just shut up and not say it, but when my friends tout, right, when people that I know work for the schools, and they, you know, their kids are in, and they're pumping up the public schools, I'm like, but you didn't send your kids there? they fucking hate you. You know what I mean? But again, it's like me and my wife have this thing, back to the advice and just how you communicate with people in general. It's like, do I look fat in this dress? Right? Like if you want to save people's feelings, you lie to them. Right? And if you want to speak the truth, that meme that goes around, like uncomfortable lies, uncomfortable truth versus comfortable lies, and everyone's in the fucking line for people, and ignorance is bliss. All these cliches, I love cliches because they're fucking true.
It's true.
Like ignorance is bliss. That's true. That's a lot of Fall River when it comes to 9% of people come to vote and no one goes to the meetings. But the opposite is true too. Once you're educated in these things and you follow them, it's misery, bro. Right? If ignorance is bliss, knowing the reality of these things. Now, again, these aren't just from books.
Right.
It's from being sent to war based on lies. You know what I mean? So,
because then you know the magnitude. Like because we always
lived it.
Our government wouldn't do that. Our government wouldn't do that. Our government
so
doesn't
again,
do that.
So again,
right?
back to the dichotomy, especially with law enforcement, right? Like as a libertarian, dude, I want my rights respected to the fucking nth degree. If I get pulled over so a cop in Somerset pulls over my wife the other day, right? Because my wife's beautiful. And she's on her phone like this, talking on the phone, on speakerphone, right? So she has to put the person on hold as she gets pulled over. And the cop comes over, he's like a young kid and with a mullet and shit. Like, dude, I know the type. Like there's all types of, and there's painters that are fucking assholes. There's painters that are super people, right? Yeah. But it was the type, right? It was like the type. And again, I'm like talking, me and my wife were laughing about it, but I'm like, bro, we've back to the Neil Gorsuch and overruled. We've come to the point where it's illegal to hold to touch your phone and operate a vehicle.
Yeah, no touch.
But as a police officer, you're on your laptop running people's plates all fucking day long. You have a computer, bro.
Yes.
A computer right here that you're on and running plates. And what this guy probably just fucking ran my wife's plate from a laptop in his fucking lap.
The irony.
Driving the car. Bro, and so I've lived it. I've lived the insanity of it. But all I'm saying is, when I get pulled over, I want my rights respected. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know.
Bro, I think there's a lot to unpack, bro. And I think the only thing that we can agree is that you need to come back on the show
anytime.
And I'd be more than happy to come visit. Like we can do this again. Just so kind of walking us out of here. A couple of questions. First of all, obviously you have an idea and you have some passion for the city. So November. An election, right? So if you had an opportunity to talk to the audience, to my audience, and maybe give them some advice, maybe who they might consider for that role, who would you endorse?
I just want to hit one thing real quick.
Of course, sure.
Back to the post I just made about Linda. When you guys go out of here, if you look at that, it's the AI video is the funniest shit so far. It's out of control, right? But I was just saying, I was blaming you and myself. I always put it on myself because even my friend Josh Silva, who's huge into the political thing, we met at a city meeting and we fought the recall and all this stuff. Yeah. But I'm like, Josh, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is results. I'm like, we've got I'm like, we've been bashing our head up against the wall for fucking 10 years and we've failed miserably. And why? It's because you're only two people. It hasn't resonated enough. If the purple bags was an annoyance to everyone, to buy this shoddy fucking thing, that was enough to get people. So, and again, COVID was so over the top. Like now you can't go out to eat.
Right. You got to wear a mask. You go to the bathroom and sit down and you can take it off.
So many people and then again, Fauci.
Yes.
Every day, depending on what day of the week you ask the guy, it was the complete opposite contradiction.
Yes.
So it fucking red pilled so many people to be like, oh my God, the government are full of liars and the media, right? So again, I'm going to go off on a huge tangent.
Go ahead.
The Puff Daddy thing, right? You see like the fucking courtroom artist things of the pictures of him, like they I'm like, when they do me at a federal trial like that, they're going to fuck me up with the court artist, right?
They did the Trump too.
I mean, like,
they did the Trump too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But this is what's so scary. Dude, if you remember, they were like, oh, he's a sex. They were saying he was like Epstein. He was blackmailing Obama with cameras in his house at the freak. Bro, they said all this crazy shit about him. Then I was waiting for the trial to happen to be like, what's going to happen? So I'm like, I don't trust the government and I don't trust the media. Clearly. Now, picture being Puff Daddy, bro. Yeah. The only way you know of what's happening during this dude's entire trial was through the government or the media reporting it because cameras weren't allowed. You couldn't see it.
Yes, right.
And my biggest thing is like, again, even like for the longest time, my cover photo on my thing was like, you either trust the government or you follow history. Like you can't be both.
You can't be both.
You know? So I'm gonna leave you on this. I'll say what you said, but again, I don't trust. I've been red pilled to fucking not believe any of the shit. But I put it on all of us, no matter even, again, like if I try and I'm posting about fucking Coogan and Maura Healey and these people get reelected, then I'm just a fucking loser, bro. Because it takes thousands and thousands of people. Now, Chris already shows that he's like a super connector type guy, right? He gets a bunch of people from different things, whatever. Hopefully, I don't know. But I also know a lot of times it doesn't translate to voters. But at the end of the day, I honestly don't even care who fucking runs. If the people of Fall River don't care, bro, they could elect Jesus Christ.
Yes,
if no one's going to care and support the people and fucking force accountability, because now you're just one guy. You still have a corrupt and incompetent city council and the school committee. It's not just a one-man show. Trump wins, and the judges all over the country just shut down everything he does. Bro, it's like, dude, it's a giant fucking
an absolute
Leviathan,
counterproductive situation.
No one person's gonna fix it. The
Right.
people need to fix it.
Yes.
The people need to fix it. So, and unfortunately, dude, I'm not the guy to bridge fucking gaps, and I'm like a controversial person who people either love or hate. So, and I turn a lot of people off. I'm not the fucking uniter of people, right? Chris is a different guy. He's like more charismatic. Now, you mentioned a couple names and stuff when you say about, first off, the first election's in September. Right, so I used to only vote in November because I'm just like you. I'm a normal person, but then I became a hyper political person. I'm like, you know, so I got to get all the fucking, all this stuff. September has to come out. People have to come out and vote, bro. Even if you vote for fucking Coogan, right? Like people have to come and vote. That's why people need to. It's our fault. I don't like it's the politicians, but we enable them. We put them there. So we have to look in the mirror and blame ourselves. So
accountability. Dude, there needs to be accountability.
Rank and file people in Fall River is the reason why we have all these problems. We know Maura Healey is a fucking loser, right? And they're spending billions on and catering to people who aren't from here while American veterans sleep in the fucking winter outside, bro. Like it's gotten that absurd. Hopefully, again, it's like a red pill thing. Like they get so bad that people hopefully like this can't even be argued to be fucking rational. You know what I mean? So I always say, for the longest time I'd call into WSR, I'm like, oh yeah, raise the taxes, fucking spend, like, because I'm gonna become mayor one day when they fucking run this thing so far into the ground that then I'll be like, oh my God, Jordan was
hero.
Right. I'll be the guy to rule over the ashes. You know what I mean? Like they have to fucking implode it, and that's gonna happen, bro. Like, the ARPA money and all the shit. Like they just got, dude, how about this? Before ARPA, 7 years ago, I'm at the city council and they were always fighting over like 1 or 2 million every year. I said, it's a spending problem, right? I say, if you gave them $100 million, extra $100 million out of thin air, I was on the record on a city council meeting saying this, they're going to spend 101 and threaten to fire police and there's no amount of money you can give them that will fucking end the
never
need.
Satisfy it.
So it's always a spending problem. And then ARPA happened and exactly that scenario happened. They fucking they're spending $2 million on karate classes. It was like Brewster's Millions, bro. They didn't know what to fucking spend the money on. It was like anyone came to them with an idea. They're like, but again, there still wasn't firefighters got cut 3%. You know what I mean? So and I always say, listen, we don't need anything more. Spend the shit they already have better. There's so many easy fucking low-lying fruit. And I tell Chris, they're digging a grave, bro. You don't have to invent a jetpack to fly, like just put the fucking shovel down. Stop doing all the tourism director, the trolley no one fucking uses. Like a million studies for every It's stop trying to, and again, all that's corruption. It's not going to a random fucking person to study and dude, it's a giant, it's a giant fucking NGO cabal, bro, and it's corruption, So that's my spiel on it. It's the people. When people get pissed off enough, they will fucking respond. Again, maybe we've been neutered.
So what you're saying is it's not bad enough yet.
It's not bad enough yet.
It's not bad enough.
Yeah, it's not bad enough yet. It's sad to say, but dude, I will say it's getting there. I know more homeless people right now than I've ever known personally. We go on the Facebook groups, everyone's posting there. When in your life do you remember people posting, this is my electric bill? Fucking 100 different people. Not one guy, not me, not one asshole complaining about $1 trash bag.
Because people are like, everyone's saying, does this be like this?
It's $5 worth of gas and $200 worth of delivery fees. Right? Like, again, it gets so absurd. But I think we're getting closer to people seeing it. At the same time, everyone's getting fucked over. They're treating people from other countries. Again, come here, work as hard as I do and pay taxes if I'm forced to and all that shit. But dude, we're gonna put you up in hotels and like $6,000 a month per bro. that's where we're at.
And that's the things we know about. That's like the $24 million lighting project for the Braga Bridge.
Hopefully they're getting so incompetent that the average person in Fall River is getting punched in the face with their own bills and the rent and the utilities and groceries.
I saw that post Chris put up that woman got, $300. Did you see that? She got a ticket for $300.
Yeah.
She had a tree that fell in her backyard, and then they actually went by her house. And
some people are big on like enforcement of ordinances and shit. Like I'm like, dude, like again, and it's funny. It's like,
well, I think mattress on the sidewalk, you're an asshole.
Yeah, right? 100%. But a lot of times, but again, I know as a property owner, a lot of times, like someone just dumps that. No one just like I'm not dragging a mattress out of my house and leave it on my front.
Right, exactly.
It's
if
some
you see it on
asshole.
Route 24, who do you write the bill out to?
And then the city just comes around with like the fucking cleaver, and they say, well, it's on yours, and they just smash you with zero empathy, or you know what I mean. And again, the honest guy who does the right thing and has to suffer bro. There's so much room to just fix. To bring just sanity. If Chris wins, I'm telling him, again, bring financial literacy to the kids. It costs nothing. Just stop the crazy shit they do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like again, like $600,000 in raises to people who already make the homeless czar, right? $90,000 a year for an employee to go check on. And I did the back of the napkin math. I'm like, all right, so that's fucking $4,000 a month. You could pay for 2 apartments, 3-bedroom apartments, put 2 people in each bedroom.
House them.
You could that one person is responsible for 50 people being homeless every year. $190,000.
And they're doing no good. And what are they doing? They're still there. Oh, they're still there.
We're spending $3 million. We're spending $3 million on this homelessness issue. And I'm like, all right, they're just wasting that for like X amount, 50 shelter beds. If they were buying fucking 4 3-family houses, and again, I'm not saying this is what it is.
Right.
But it's some equivalent of that, but between working with the Fall River Housing Authority, or like again, What's Up Heights was bull. Like, dude, you gotta provide housing. They've unfortunately demolished the economy so bad that people are there's such a homeless population. They now have to fucking house these people or not. That's the sad part, bro. Or not. Like I'm always tell people, like, life isn't a fucking movie where it's a happy ending all the time.
Right. Like,
we could just have 1,000. If we have 500 homeless people today, we could just have 1,000 next year. Like there's no saying it won't just get worse. Like this guy calls in from San Francisco, the lieutenant mayor of San Francisco, Brad Paul. It's like, bro, Skid Row. It's got like fucking thousands and thousands and thousands of homeless people. They say it's unfixable, except when President Xi comes from China and then they fucking clear it up in 2 weeks. I tell everybody that, even at the pizza place, bro. They'll say, oh, Jordan, we can't put oil in the fucking thing. I said, bro, if I had $1 million to say, stick this thing of oil in that thing, it's always a matter of motivation.
Absolutely. How bad do you want it? Yeah. It's crazy, dude.
I'm hoping for a change, but I'm the most cynical fuck out of all of it, right?
Yeah.
But there was a poll that came out that said Coogan came in 3rd behind Boomer, and Chris got more votes than everyone else combined.
Yeah.
So it's like, I know those things are not scientific and they're bullshit, and I've won them and got smoked and got 500 votes for mayor. Yep. But he's got 30,000 followers on his fucking cafe page. He's got a strong following. Like no one in Fall River history has just walked into the political scene with 30,000 followers, quote, on social media.
Right. With a presence. He has a presence.
And with that, bro, you get mad haters. He gets mad haters where, again, he's had to get lawyers against people. People have threatened to burn down his business because he made Easter baskets, because he invited the FRPD. That's how fucked society is, bro. Those people that do that shit, and they're allowed to do that shit on fake fucking Facebook profiles. They're the scum of society, bro. And they're gonna stop fucking with me and my business.
But what's the argument, dude?
It's just, I don't know another way to say it, bro. They're saying, because you made 200 Easter baskets, and then you asked the FRPD to come and show up because they've had problems, admittedly, right? They've had problems. But it's like, so now because again, it's just the whole BLM and defund the police bullshit that, so let's get rid of all the cops. You know what I mean? Let's get rid of all the firefighters too, and like let's get you know what I mean? Again, it's like you're almost talking a fucking libertarians, dream scenario. But even as a libertarian, like I want to know that if you're not gonna let me defend myself, right? Because I have no problem defending myself. I'll mount a fucking machine gun on the front of my house if you let me. You know what I mean? And I will handle it that way too. But if society is gonna say like, no, you gotta, you know what I mean? Then we need those fucking people. You know what I mean? But yeah, again, who knows what's gonna happen? You run for office. I didn't run this time because I know I'll lose. I would do it because I like getting in the debates and flaming them all. I had one post went hundreds of thousands of views of Sam Sutter, old district attorney, and he ran. I fucking nuked him, bro. And it's not because I'm the smartest guy. when you're parroting political slogans and democratic liberal bullshit about and the shit he was saying, I'm going to talk to every mayor. This is what he said the last time against Coogan. I'm going to talk to every landlord personally in Fall River and ask them to hold the line on the rents. You're just a fucking clown saying that, bro. You're a clown. They'll say anything, and I'm just coming here saying like the dude's a fucking clown.
Yeah, but how many people heard that, and how many people took that? And
Yeah,
like that somehow he was the general.
He
That's
got
right. Like everybody.
40% of the vote, bro. 40%. It's because they're so bad. Like Coogan's bad too. You know what I mean? So again, I don't know what's gonna happen. I honestly don't care, bro. Because the other thing is again with the personal development shit. Like if you're doing the right thing in a bad economy or in a fucking city that's struggling, like my thing is lifting my own family up. So again, I dragged my family through all this bullshit, dude. When I ran for mayor and the people were trying to take my fucking lug nuts off my car during the Flanagan shit, all of the shit, right? My wife is along for the ride. They don't, right? And Chris is like, dude, I don't know if I want to do this. You know what I mean? Like these people are going to try to they're already threatening to burn down my business before I even run.
Especially when he doesn't have to. Right?
He doesn't have to.
Right. You don't have to. Yeah.
You know
that makes it that much.
It's sad. And again, I just said this the other day. Alan, Silvia, Carol Fiola, Mike Rodrigues, they all run unopposed. Right? So it's like, but it's easy for me to say and criticize because I didn't run either. I could have ran and I would have smashed them in every debate. They don't come and sit in an environment like this. They may sit here across from you because you'll be nice to them, but they won't sit. Like we need like Bernie Sanders to sit with Trump on Joe Rogan for 3 hours and let him duke it out. And it's got to happen over and over and over. COVID, Fauci.
I'll tell you what, did you catch the Rogan with Sanders and Rogan?
Yeah.
Rogan did hold him accountable, dude. I mean, I know there were moments there, but there were.
Him and Andrew Schultz support Bernie Sanders. I'm like, bro.
Yes. But it's the most I've ever seen anybody oppose, because Sanders is always Vavoo. Like he's everybody's grandpa. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, the guy's worth like $200 million and is in bed with every insurance company from here to Tallahassee. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy. Again, I'm not a fan of politicians. Ron Paul, Tom Massey, you know what I mean? They're the guys that are saying, like, listen, all these people around me are corrupt and we need to fucking limit what they can do and leave people alone. And that's kind of what I believe in. You know what I mean? Is that ever going to happen in Fall River? I don't know. They did vote for Trump in Fall River. Again, that's like kind of a like, I never thought that would happen in my life. So maybe there is a sign that things are changing. We'll just have to see.
I hope so. But you know what? Time will tell, brother. Time will tell, brother. Can I thank you so much for being here, brother? I really appreciate it. So real quick. Restaurant?
Fiorentina Italian Kitchen.
And what's the address?
1833 North Main.
Your podcast?
Slice of Success podcast.
And where would people listen to that?
Facebook, and I think I have some on YouTube.
No Spotify?
No, not yet. But social media always just... I will ask this, too. Follow my stuff. Like, people will, like, you know, like, it's very easy. You know this, right? It's very easy for people to support you. They can like your page, follow your page, share your page. It's free to do.
Absolutely.
Your friends that you've had your whole life. I have friends for fucking 40 years that, you know, maybe they don't come by the restaurant or whatever. And people shouldn't patronize your business just out of that. But like, back to, that's one thing Chris does too. He goes to every business in Fall River, tries to pump them up. He does it for me. Dude, it's free to do. You know, and like, again, we can help each other it doesn't cost much, you know, just to share our stuff on social media. And
of course. It
helps.
Right.
You know?
Especially when we're in this together, dude. Look, this is for the greater good, bro. Like, nobody's here just to bitch and complain. We're saying, hey, this is on fire. Can we put this out, please? Right? Can we start over again? Can we plan something new? You know, I think just in walking out of here.
Who's not saying that? Who's not saying that? The incumbents.
Yes.
That's why I say I hate the gaslighting, right? Because if you're in there, you can't say, man, we've been fucking awful. We really need change. Like, you're the guy.
Because you're admitting your faults.
Dude, they have to lie to you.
Yes.
They have to lie to us.
I'm excited the direction that the city's going. I think bringing in the restaurants, bringing in the businesses, I think it's amazing. Like, to be able to go down to the waterfront, I love to eat and drink, bro. That's those are my two favorite things to do. And so to have an opportunity to be home in my city, and I try to go to every restaurant and I try to patronize every restaurant that I can. And so when I see the development down on Duval Street, I say to myself, well, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? And really, what is the end game here, right? So you develop all this, but there's another part of me that says, when you have a broken foundation, you don't put a new roof on the house.
True.
Right?
Very true.
Like you gotta have a strong, because you gotta lift the house, right?
How about this? So I've also said, like, even like downtown Florida, everybody knows it's a fucking nightmare. Like, there's no like after midnight on a Friday and Saturday after COVID, there's like no place to go. Like the Cove is closed. There's like, bro. And I said, like, again, I've been to Vegas, I've been to Nashville, where you could. I said you should all of downtown should be a district where you could just walk from bar to bar outside with your drinks.
Right. There should be a Donovan,
it should be roped off or whatever on either end, and you could walk outside. Maybe they kill traffic on North Main Street from City Hall, ironically, up to like Columbia Street. And again, they open up more liquor licenses for those places and nightclubs and shit. The government should be helping in that regard.
That Travelers building, like all of that, like use all that.
Hey, I was in Nashville, bro. Like every other block, there's like a little kiosk where they're selling weed. Right, and in Fall River, Massachusetts, again, it's a corruption thing. You have to know someone, you have to bribe someone.
Absolutely.
When I was saying legalize weed, I was saying like everyone in Fall River should be able to, like, you should be able to grow it in your basement and sell it to your friends. You can only gift it away to. It's all bullshit. It's all a way for the government to steal the commerce of it. That's not what I fucking envisioned for it. You know, it should be. We should open the floodgates. This is shit that anyone can do and it's free to do. Like, hey, like I said. Let everyone open container in Vegas. If you're in Vegas, so you walk the strip having a drink.
Okay.
Downtown, Fall River, you can make it like that. Going to Gillette Stadium to see Jelly Roll and Post Malone a couple weeks ago, but as soon as you park on the route, whatever fucking highway it is, there's state troopers everywhere, and everyone's walking and drinking. No one. It's allowed. Right. You know, it's part of this country's history is like this Puritan fucking angle too. Yeah. And it's, you know what I mean, like the blue laws, can't buy alcohol on Sunday, or open container laws and shit like that. Dude, there's no vibe in Fall River.
Right.
There's no vibe.
Zero.
There's fucking nothing to do, and everybody, you know what I mean? That's easy to foster. Yeah. If a psychopath like me was ever put in charge, it'd be easy, right? And I wanted to open up a bar and have like indoor like pools and shit like that. Like I've gone to when I was a kid. I'm not reinventing. Yeah. But dude, I understand liability. You know, that's another part of it. There's so many fucking hurdles to this stuff. But you have a couple people. You need deep pockets to do that, right? You need like a Tony Cadero, guys who have investors who can develop.
Yes.
People in Fall River, the development conversation is they should put a fucking Raising Cane's there. I always hate that when they're like, oh, they should put a whatever chain restaurant there. It's like, who the fuck is they?
Right.
But it's like, who is they?
Right.
Right. And people don't just pick like what goes. It's like, dude, you don't know. Or when people argue about the rents, or these real estate agents are ripping everybody off by, bro, people don't understand the market sets the prices on what a house sells for. You're intentionally not taught that in schools in Massachusetts because they want everyone to be financially ignorant, so the government, big government in Massachusetts, can control you and make you dependent upon them.
Right.
Dude, that's all in Atlas Shrugged. Right. Listening today, he says it was the more kids you had, which is the military nowadays, the more kids you had, the more money you got, or if you had a disability. That's in Atlas Shrugged, written 70 fucking years ago. They were talking about it, and it's America in 2025.
Yeah, we're not much different now. We're not much different. So, look, I put this all together. I look at you and I say, well, you're a business owner, you're in real estate, you have a passion for the city. Is this something that you consider yourself getting involved with, like in a development or something like that? If Chris reached out to you and said, hey, Jordan, we want to do some development on South Main Street. Is this something that you're interested in?
Yeah, 100%. So, again, I'm more, I think, this is a much longer conversation, but I'm more into acquiring already existing things and making them better than starting it up from the ground up. But, dude, how about this? Society Coffee Bar, right? That kid, the Viveris, him and his wife, they're doing great. They got places everywhere. I think they might have said they were doing something, but like perfect, right? It's a great model too, because during the day you're a cafe, it's a bolt-on, right? So during the day you're a cafe, at night you're a bar, so you get two businesses for the price of one. Yep. My wife's cousin is one of the managers, I believe, at the Somerset location. But it's like, dude, recruit them to come in. Like, don't just wait for, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right. So,
dude,
you guys interested in...
let's have a government that's pro-business.
Yeah, we got
that's never happened
we got some spaces,
River.
right? We got some spaces. You interested? Hey, we'll give you a deal on this. Cheap
100%.
money. Come in. You guys 100%. Renovate. Yeah, of course. Dude, and you already have the talent here. You got the people that are,
there's
right?
People,
the talent is already here.
How about this? We're pushing all these kids from high school right into college, into whether it's debt or to go work for someone and pay taxes your whole life. Why not already, instead of teaching the gimmicky thing that's been happening in the last 20 years is like early college education. So when you're a junior, how about like early entrepreneurship? So in junior, they're already teaching you about business. So when you're 18 and 19, you're walking into already starting a business and internships. When I worked at the law office, I've hired kids out of resiliency prep to work for us. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, dude, if there was more, you know what I mean, collaboration.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You find those. How many successful people do you find, right?
And again, this is the sick part. I'll leave it at this too.
Yes.
We demonize those successful people. And I used to be one of those guys. And friends are like, oh, Tony Cadero, he's just some rich asshole that gets everybody fucking takes everybody. Dude, no. The guy's successful. The guys who invest tens of millions of dollars in Forever, like if they go away,
these are game changers. These are game changers. Yeah.
Hey, this guy looked me in the face. He's like, I'm never leaving Forever. I'll die here. He lives near Diamond, right? Like, guy can live any fucking place in the world.
And he's near Diamond.
He lives here and invest his money here.
Yeah.
And you're gonna dude. It goes back to somewhere along the line we started demonizing successful people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we need to teach. Like no. Like the billionaires. Like again.
Unfortunately, that's a very liberal mindset.
And we live in Massachusetts.
And we live in Massachusetts.
You know what I mean? So is Massachusetts going to change? Am I going to move to fucking Tennessee? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Jordan, I don't know what the hustle and bustle was, but you're an absolute pleasure, brother. You were an absolute 100% pleasure to have on the show today, dude. I am so glad. I hope I can call you friend.
Of course.
And I hope we can do this again. David, thank you so much for setting this up. David's the best program director ever. He really is. Jojo on the boards, thank you so much for being here, brother. I really appreciate it. Everybody knows, go like, follow, and subscribe to the Bobby Couto Show if you haven't done so already. We always appreciate the support. And remember, everybody, always remember that all roads